Welcome back. Welcome back to WPX3. I'm your humble host. Give me a second here while I get this show here ready to go. And apologies, I ain't put the transitions and stuff in these slides of the late. I've been kind of just, I don't know. I got a lot of projects I'm working on, and editing isn't my strong suit. So if any editors out there would love to help me edit these clips, that'd be much appreciated. And I would love to give you credit as the awesome editor that you are, and be able to make some things happen with you with some of these projects, because we're going to be filming a lot. So, yeah. You're in the... Excuse me. Sheesh. If you are in the Minnesota, also known as Minnesota area, in and around the Midwest, and you do editing, and you want to come and do some editing with me, I'm in the Lakota County. Come through and we can edit. If I could send some stuff to you, that'd be dope too, because I'd love for you to edit and show us what you got, and we'll make something happen. Yeah, so, excuse me. Now, I don't want a lot of you to get discouraged by the information, because a lot of this could sound like, oh, you're just going over all this bad stuff. Bad. When are we going to get to the solutions? And this is not necessarily good or bad what I'm giving you. I'm giving you information. It's not good or bad. It is what is and what is not. Okay? You can use this information to uplift yourself, because once you are in the know, once we know, we can do something about it. But if we are in the dark, then we are ignorant. And if we're ignorant, we are without sin. But since we know, we have to address the sin and address our own sin. Especially if you're identifying as black, Negro, or color. That's a sin, fool. Wicked. And we're going to get into that. We're going to get into all that, because a lot of y'all don't know what a sin is. A lot of y'all don't know what a crime is, even though y'all run around and say y'all doing crimes. Y'all admitting guilt to crimes. Where they do that at? Okay? And this is why I'm on the outside talking and speaking, and they can't do nothing about it. Okay? Come on. Let's get into it. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Project MK Ultra, y'all. Project MK Ultra. Author Kanoa Ali, Makunubi Kaiser, Separate Panther, Commander Ka, Damaru Society, 2, The Empire Mu. Let's get it. Y'all. What is MK Ultra? Project MK Ultra, or MK Ultra, also called the CIA Mind Control Program, is a code name given to the program of experiments of human subjects that were designed and undertaken by United States Central Intelligence Agencies, some of which were illegal. Now I'm going to tell you this. All of us, every last so-called U.S. citizen, is a subject that has been exposed to the CIA's mind control program. Okay? So you've all been victims. We have all been victims. If you are so-called a United States citizen or not. If you simply have paid attention to any of the United States programming, you have been subjected to the mind control program, is what I'm saying. Experiments on humans were intended to identify and develop drugs and procedures to be used in interrogations in order to weaken the individual and force confessions through mind control. That's exactly what's going on now. That's exactly what's going on. If you get taken to a jail, you are placed in a facility that is worse than Pelican Bay. If you're in Dakota County, you get taken to a private jail where you are in 23-hour lockdown. 23-1. 23-1. That is worse than Pelican Bay in the shoe. And then don't complain about don't complain or don't get injured or don't anything. You know what I'm saying? At the police, at the so-called Dakota County have a personal vendetta against you, they'll put you in SEG. You know what SEG is? SEG is 24-hour lights. 24-hour lockdown. I was in SEG for 24-hour lockdown. You know why? Do you know why? I was in 24-hour lockdown all because I had a panic attack while I was getting beaten in a torture chair. Got all this on camera, and when it happened to me, this is what put me on my journey, because obviously I'm like, oh, I'm about to sue the shit out y'all. And guess what? I couldn't even pay a lawyer to take my case. No matter how much evidence I had of being tortured, being beaten, being a subject to a violent attack by so-called Dakota County officials of the state of Minnesota, who were the same people who were trying to bring a case against me. You see what I'm saying? Because I never had a case against me from any blood living being. Every case that's ever been brought against me has been from a legal fiction, aka the state of Minnesota has attempted to charge me at every front of my adult life. Okay? Okay? So I had to figure out who's who, what's what, and what's going on here. And I had to figure out I was under mind control. And I had to snap out of it. Okay? So I had to go through, I started to fast and read. And I started to purify myself, trying to clear my mind. Woo! And now I'm here. But that's a whole nother story. Let's keep it moving. So the project was organized through the Office of Scientific Intelligence of the CIA and coordinated with the United States Army Biological Warfare Laboratories, codenamed Drug-Related Experiment, or Project Bluebird and Project Artichoke. So we're talking about some goddamn secret agent bull right here, okay? What is the CIA? It says here, the CIA, U.S., United States Civilian Espionage Agency. Intellism, acronym of Central Intelligence Agency, founded 1947 as a successor to the Office of Strategic Services, OSS. Now, would you take a look at this this symbol, and take a look at that shield, and what's under the eagle's head is this kind of headband thing that the knights will wear over their head. So this is a knight's crest. So I'm like, which order of the knights are we going through? But I seen that star somewhere before. I seen that. I think I seen it in Gangstar or one of these rap albums. But it says here the CIA stands for Central Intelligence Agency, and the primary started mission is to collect, evaluate, and disseminate foreign intelligence to assist the president and senior United States government policymakers in making decisions about national security. So is that all that the CIA does? It's says here, stands for Central Intelligence Agency. Its primary started mission is to collect, evaluate, and disseminate foreign intelligence. Foreign intelligence. Could foreign intelligence also be construed to counterintelligence? And what would be counterintelligent? How about identifying as black? Wouldn't that be counterintelligent? So if us identifying as something like death be counterintelligent, then counterintelligence is going to be the primary weapon of espionage against the so-called black community. All right? To put us all in jail, to keep that private prison skyrocketing, filled to the brim. Oh yeah. Let's get into it. Who is more powerful, the CIA or the FBI? The correct answer is the CIA. Says here, CIA is the correct answer to this question. As they are more powerful than the FBI, CIA stands for Central Intelligence Agency, also known as the OSS. Okay? They are more powerful because they deal with intelligence from all over the world. The CIA has more privileges and they have more access to more resources than the FBI does. Okay? And look at the differences between the crests. Feel me? But you could tell that they the same crest, but this one seems older. You know what I'm saying? This is like an old school crest. I'm telling you, this little thing right here is super old, like medieval old. You see what I'm saying? Methods of MK Ultra. MK Ultra used numerous methods to manipulate its subjects' mental states and brain functions. Techniques include the covert administration of high doses of psychoactive drugs, especially other chemicals, electroshock, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, verbal or sexual abuse, as well as other forms of torture. What is going on now? Is that not what's going on? I'm telling you, this is August 2020, and I'm reading on social media that WAP, Cardi B, and Meg Thee Stallion talking about their crotch is a empowering anthem and how it needs to be protected. So, do y'all see what's going on? The MK Ultra programming of how bad is supposed to be the new good. Okay? Just like orange is supposed to be the new black. Orange for 33. Okay, let's keep it going. What do y'all think is going on here? All the so-called high-ranking pedophiles are coming into the forefront. Okay, showing that they are sexual abusing. They are chemically abusing. They are doing all this stuff right in front of everybody. So it says here, CIA, you probably never heard of this, but there is another program that CIA ran called Operation Mockingbird. Now, Operation Mockingbird is a illegal large-scale program of the United States Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, that began in the early years of the Cold War and attempted to manipulate news for propaganda purposes. It funded student and cultural organizations and magazines as a front organization. So yeah, the CIA would put their own operatives as news anchors and news heads, chiefs of news stands, and all kinds of stuff. These people own the media. They pay top dollar to disseminate COINTEL programming to the masses. And they've been doing this for centuries, more than likely. Okay? They've been doing this for centuries until you niggas can learn how to read. Okay? Until you Negroes can learn how to comprehend the words that are coming out of your mouth, which a lot of you have not. You fail to comprehend any of the words that are coming out of your mouth because you simply will not pick up the damn dictionaries. But you want to pick up the book. But you don't know how to read the damn book. Go back to the basics and learn how to read. Let's get it. CIA's COINTELPRO. COINTELPRO counterintelligence program is a series of covert and illegal projects conducted by the United States Federal Bureau of Investigations aimed at surveilling, infiltrating, discrediting, and disrupting American political organizations. Okay? So the FBI created COINTELPRO aimed to infiltrate, discredit, and disrupt American political organizations. So anything so-called American political and organized is subjected to the counterintelligence program according to Wikipedia, or what was published through Wikipedia through various sources. Okay? FBI records show that COINTEL resources targeted groups and individuals that the FBI deemed subversive. Counterintelligence is an activity aimed at protecting an agency's intelligence program from an opposition intelligence service. It includes gathering information and conducting activities to prevent espionage. But we know the CIA is an espionage organization. Its forte is espionage, but they're claiming that they're anti-espionage against them. I guess they're anti-espionage against themselves by creating fake espionage or fake intelligence and disseminating fake intelligence or fake information throughout many and all organizations contaminated by their infiltration. Okay? So so the espionage, sabotage, assassination, and other intelligence activities conducted for or on the behalf of foreign powers, organizations, or persons. So anything foreign to the United States government, COINTELPRO is there to utilize the full force of the CIA to sabotage, use espionage, assassination, and other intelligence activities conducted for or on the behalf of the United States against so-called foreign powers, organizations, or persons. If we just read between the line. Many countries will have multiple organizations focused on different aspects of counterintelligence, such as domestic, international, and counterterrorism. Some states will formalize it as part of the police structure, such as the United States Federal Bureau of Investigations. Others will establish independent bodies, such as United Kingdom's MI5. So, COINTELPRO is pretty much split itself off into a baby CIA, aka FBI, where they could just utilize stolen funds or repurpose funds provided to them by their super PAC donors and their other politicians who finesse you, the idiots, the 3/5 humans, the black, Negroes, and coloreds, and the so-called Black Lives Matter supporters, or what they call left-wing Riris and right-wing satanic GOP guys, whatever the hell you are. Let's keep it moving. CIA agents in hip-hop. Yes. CIA was the first rap group, named short for crew, in action. Replacing the earlier name, Stereo Crew, was a rap trio, KD, Sir Jinx, and Ice Cube. So Ice Cube came up in a group called the CIA. Okay? This dude also went to form the NWA. Okay? NWA. And look, the Associated Acts, Dr. Dre. Let's go, y'all. So we know that CIA has infiltrated hip hop, and they use hypnosis and mass psychological warfare against the general public. So yeah, they got Ice Cube playing a gangster and a cop, because most of these so-called gangsters are Tekashi 6ix9ine. They all police. So when Tekashi 6ix9ine was talking about Snoop Dogg being the police, I'm not sure if he was lying or not. I'm just saying I don't trust none of them. Who's J. Edgar Hoover? All right. So J. Edgar Hoover was an American law enforcement administrator who served as the first director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. So he's the first who served for the FBI. So he wasn't the first in the CIA, but he was the first in the FBI. Okay, the first head of the FBI, the first director of the FBI. So these are the contents. I'm not going to go over all these contents because there's a lot. I think I might have to do a whole thing just on this dude by itself, because that's how interesting this dude's catalog is in his Wikipedia here. Check it out. So he has war emergency divisions. So he was in office around the time of a war emergency. So he gained a whole bunch of war emergency kind of powers, and he was doing particular things in the FBI and through the CIA with those war powers. Y'all should check that out. The Bureau of Investigation, you know, he's the head of it. Head of racial division. He's the head of radical division. That's what they said about him. He's the head of the Bureau of Investigation. Yep. Depression era gangsters. Okay, now gangster, and you'll see what gangster really is in numerology here in a second, and also mafia, because he's also connected to the American Mafia. This guy right here, this mafioso looking mofo. Okay, and a lot of those La Costa Nostra boys were a bunch of fun boy so-called informants. Okay, but I don't think they were necessarily fun boy informants. You know why? Because I think they were just a bunch of Freemason agents to begin with. Bunch of policier. Costa Nostra. Puh. Information of subversion and radicals. Okay. Florida and Long Island U-boat landings. Illegal wiretapping. So this dude, everyone knows that this dude is crooked all hell. And they got all kinds of recordings about this. Illegal wiretapping, concealed espionage discoveries. So this dude was doing espionage on others. Plans for suspending habeas corpus, just like President Lincoln. So this dude wants you to be in jail indefinitely, especially if you're so-called black. If you're so-called black, you'll never get out of jail under the Emergency Act, okay? Because they could suspend habeas corpus indefinitely. So you could be sitting in jail in 23-1, going fucking crazy until they tap you out. They call Dakota County Tap Out City. Because most people ain't going to survive 23-1. They're mentally weak. They want to go home. So they just saying, yeah, I did whatever. Because if I didn't say this, that, and the third, they was going to keep me there forever. And I'm like, look here, you weak, pathetic sack of shit. Toughen up, my man. Toughen up. Chin up, chest out. Don't ever take no deal for some shit that you did not do. Always fight. And if you don't, you deserve what you get. So let's keep it moving here. It says here, COINTELPRO in the 1950s. Reactions to the civil rights group. Late career, death, legacy, private life, his pets, sexuality. Hoover and Tolson. That was some guy he worked very, very closely with. They alleged that him and this guy Tolson had a romantic relationship because of how close they were and how much they were always together. And also, I think this dude lived with his mom until like his 40s. The fucking president, not president, but the damn, I guess he is a president. He's the head of the FBI, so he's the head of something. So I guess he's the prez of something. So he's the head of the FBI. Except he was like all this stuff at like 22, but this dude was still living with his mom in his late 40s, yo. And he also had allegations of cross-dressing. Now, what had happened with the mafia was this dude was waging war on La Cosa Nostra. And allegedly, the mafia blackmailed J. Edgar Hoover with pictures of him cross-dressing. Said, hey, if you don't leave us alone and say we don't even exist and all that shit, we're going to release these damn pictures. And you know what J. Edgar Hoover did? What mafia? What mafia? J. Edgar Hoover, as you can see him with his Freemason Shriner fez on. Okay, he got his Shriner fez on. Because he ain't nothing but a puppet. The Freemason CIA Mafia connection. Italy clamps down on the Masons after Mafia linked exposed. Italian politicians will be forced to declare whether they are Freemasons under laws being drawn up after a revelation that Mafia bosses are joining lodges to strike deals with elected officials. The legislation is being proposed after police raids on the 4 largest Freemason orders on Italy discovering 193 mob-linked Masons on the order's secret membership list in Sicily and Calabria, southern Italy. Because, I don't know if y'all know, but there's plenty of secret membership lists. It's not really told or spoke of. And when they do reveal something, it's because they want to reveal something, because they're doing bigger magic. They're doing bigger black magic on you. 33 in numerology, magic in numerology is 33, okay? And these beings who are frozen at 33 degrees, the pale ones, aka black, these black pale beings are and worship the transcended or transgender god known as Beelzebub, or whatever you want to call him, the goat god, Bath, Bel, the horn god, okay? The fallen L is what we're talking about. And it's not that this entity is evil or bad. It is the intent and the usage behind the pale ones, because the pale ones are a vampiric race. They survive off the blood of the living, literally. And if you don't think so, look at their appetite. Look at how they eat. Cheeseburgers. Come on. Pork ribs. These people have to eat blood. I don't eat no blood. You're not supposed to eat blood. Mafia, 33. Gangster, 330. Okay? Which is, you might as well just say 33. COINTELPRO, civil rights leaders. Hoover infamously claimed that the most prominent civil rights leaders were the most notorious liars in the country. What was he lying? Is this a false statement, or is this blunt truth that you don't want to hear? Because these agents often tell the truth. Because what's better than having the truth in plain sight? Because once you know the truth and you've accepted the lie, and they've given you the truth, whose fault is it? Because you decided to go with the narratives that the idiots push, or the unenlightened pushed. Satan, the lower entities, low vibrational beings, these satans, come and tell you all this nonsense that don't make sense. If it don't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. Okay, these have things. Everything has an equation, a mathematical problem that cashes out every time. If it doesn't make sense, if it doesn't add up, it's not right and exact. Okay? Everything adds up. So let's take a look at Martin Luther King, so-called this J. Edgar Hoover's biggest target since the mafia. Okay? So here goes another famous quote from J. Edgar Hoover. There will never be another black messiah until we create him. Now, do you think he was lying on that? Let's take a look. Let's take a look at some of these so-called black leaders. Now, I don't know. I don't remember all these people by name, but I can show you that this one right here, Malcolm X, El-Haj Malik Shabazz, died, or allegedly was taken off the scene. But let's be clear, he was an agent. He pushed the black agenda. That's an agent. He was taken off the scene and did not die with no blood. He got shot and he didn't bleed. I ain't seen no blood. Just like the Tupac, just like Triple XX Tentacion, just like Biggie. Okay? And there's a lot of evidence connecting him to the CIA and FBI. So we're going to take him off the table. Yes, he was created by the FBI. That's a fact. I would go even further in saying the entire Nation of Islam is a creation of the FBI. Hence why they never came with a solution to this day. The whole Nation of Islam, but where are they at when you need them? They're never there. They're always there to take a picture, but they're never there to go and handle business. Okay, they're there to march, but they ain't there as the army that they are portraying themselves to be. So let's keep it moving. Martin Luther King, an alpha. Okay, an alpha. This alpha had deep ties with Jesuits, deep ties with this so-called Rainbow Coalition, which is no high Freemasonry. Come on, y'all. We don't get into it. I'm about to do a whole scroll just for these individuals, because I know you want me to give it to y'all deeper. But this information is public. Everyone knows. Only you don't know. You're the last one to the party here. Okay. Huey Newton. Huey P. Newton's father was a pale-face who lived in Minnesota. I believe he was a professor, but he was also a fraternal member, a Freemason, I believe. Huey P. Newton himself, he's a Zeta. The dude in blue, he's in the same party with, well, he's the same fraternity as Bill Clinton. So I got a whole thing on him. Let's go to Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks is the Eastern Star. Y'all might not know. Rosa Parks is the Eastern Star. Anytime they put these people on the news, I'm telling you, the news is ran by them. They would never let any story, a real story, get on that news. It would never happen. You know how hard I try to get my story on the news? You know how many people I know, how many famous motherfuckers I'm connected to? But my story wasn't good enough to get on the news. Oh no, it wasn't. I probably have to fucking get murdered for my shit to get on the news. If it would get on the news, it probably still won't get on the news. They'd be like, well, wait, we're going to put this shit under the rug. Do something. Don't do that shit. Then look at Ashada Shakur at the bottom. The only one in this picture with nothing on her plate. Okay? With a covered up plate because she was never in jail. Alright? Ashada Shakur. I believe that's Ashada. But she's the one that allegedly was just somehow beat this case when her and a bunch of other Panthers allegedly had a shootout with the police officers. But this is all COINTELPRO at its finest. This is all agents. All these people right here are agents. I would not hesitate to make that assessment. Let's keep on moving. CIA agents used for civil rights hoax. This is one of my quotes. Civil rights is nothing more than a covert United States hidden homosexual Freemason agenda. Okay? I came across this article that I wanted to put in here. It says hijacking the civil rights legacy. This column was written by Eugene F. Rivers and Kenneth D. Johnson. The movement to redefine marriage to include same-sex unions has been packaged. Its demands in the rhetoric of image of the civil rights movement. See what's going on here? Equality. Everybody's so-called equal now. Black is equal to white. No, it's not. But in their minds, they have programmed you to believe it, even though it's not. So who gets the benefit from the so-called equal rights? Gays and homosexuals. Oh, now you cannot say no because the gays can go hire a lawyer who's going to be for pro-gay agenda. And he's going to take that case pro bono, no matter if they broke or not. You know why? Because there's a lot of money for the gay agenda, and they don't mind getting it with their little greasy satanic hands. So they're not going to take yours about the race. Oh no. Oh no. Because they know that blacks are not eligible to sue. If you look up the case that's famous in Minnesota, if you're in Minnesota, there's a case that's called, what is it? What is the famous case, y'all? Y'all know the famous case that I'm trying to reference here. The Dred Scott. Dred Scott happened at Fort Snelling, y'all. That's in Minnesota. And y'all know what's going on at Fort Snelling right now. They are destroying a huge portion of some of those historical buildings. I didn't know that they could do that, but yeah, they're up there doing some kind of construction up there right now on the historical site where Dred Scott had made the historical case in the Supreme Court that exposed the fact that blacks had no rights and were still considered 3/5 human, and on top of that, they were told that they were not U.S. citizens, and a white man was not bound to honor the rights or the so-called rights of an African American, black, Negro. Blacks of African descent were never meant to be U.S. citizens, according to the judges in the Supreme Court. Okay, it has never been overturned. So let's not act like that's nothing. Has Project MK Ultra ended? Now, it says here most MK Ultra records were destroyed in 1973 by order of CIA Director Richard Helms. Now, I'm gonna have to get on Richard Helms. If you want me to get on Richard Helms, I'm gonna need y'all to comment in the bottom. I need y'all to let me know if y'all want to get into these directors, how evil, how crooked these foes were. You know, what impact have they done, and what's the damages that we're really talking about here. Okay? And where are these people at now? Because once you think that the general public has identified these criminals, right? And what has happened? Has anybody got any compensation from these terrorist organizations or these terroristic families, you know, that control the 1% of society? Let's keep it moving. The Queen and the CIA. Now, I know I've seen that pin before. I've seen a star like that before. It says here, the Queen and the CIA. Royal revelation. The Queen and bizarre role in U.S. plot to topple Iran's Democrat leader. Now, this comes from the express.co.uk. All right. But then I came across this. So I want to put this out there by John Gambro, which is a rebuttal. It says here, the U.S. ambassador to Iran mistakenly told the Shane in 1953 the Britain's newly enthroned Queen Elizabeth II backed a plan to overthrow the country's elected prime minister, and America maintained the fiction even after realizing the error, historians now say. So the historians just made an error. You see the games that are being played by the counterintelligence agency? You think the Queen isn't involved? Definitely the Queen's involved in all this. Modern day MK Ultra. Now, I had a video to go along with this, but we're going to have to hop skip it. We'll talk about it later. I wanted to talk about the modern day methods of MK Ultra and how it's still being utilized today with drugs and chemicals, mainly through water. Your drinking water, your shower, because chlorine is more absorbent through your skin. So they make it a thing to chlorinate all the cities and states' water. That's why you have to get to a place, a safe space, to collect natural water from the well, old school, like we used to do, okay? And protect that water from contamination, okay? That means no letting a big pipe come through your goddamn drinking water. Standing Rock, who didn't stand, who crumbled. It's kind of I call him Crumble Rock. Crumbled. Didn't fight. Just pretty much laid there. Alleged compensation. Compensation for the CIA-funded brainwashing experiment paid out to victims' daughters 600 years later. Now, there's some alleged compensation that happened for so many CIA victims. But have you ever got paid? Have you ever been compensated? And that's what we are going to be discussing in conclusion. Make sure y'all put in the comments if you would love to get compensated by the emotional distress, the damage, the trauma, the, all the things I could think of that has been affected by the CIA involvement in our day-to-day lives as so-called U.S. citizens. We need compensation. There's going to take a lot to fix what the CIA and the United States government has done. So I think the general public needs more in which that the government gives back. And they're going to have to fire a lot. They're going to have to cut back a lot. I'll say cut like a motherfucker in the military. You can do that. Leave a lot of those fucking military motherfuckers and cut some of these checks. Trump, cut the check, motherfucker. Cut the check. And those of us who are collective and coming together and organized, let's get organized so that we can receive the reparations that we are deserving, so that we can get the solution, which in my mind, this might not be the solution for everybody, but for my solution and my conclusion will be totally separate and isolate from all those who are connected and following of the satanic structure that they have going on in the Babylonic. I won't even call this Babylon. I'll call this Sodom or Gomorrah. I'll call this some kind of wicked place that is some place where we don't need to be. Everywhere in these massive societies and cultures are all been infiltrated and influenced by wicked, and we need to create our society outside of this society or set apart from this society, and we need to be very, 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 very controlled. And a lot of us are going to be resistant to the control that the gods are going to require them to be in their presence. And if you cannot live accordingly, you're going to have to stay on the outsides and the outskirts of the land reserved for the gods. Period. Because you cannot be in our realm doing what you're doing. Okay? Because you cannot bring your lifestyle to contaminate ours. So with that being said, peace, love, and light is the motto. White power, white power, white power. Until next time, make sure I share, like, and subscribe. Show us some love. Gratitude.